So hi, what's up? It's been a while since I've done videos like these where I just kind of talk about stuff. They have a history of not doing so well, but I don't really care because they're pretty fun to make and I felt like uploading something, and there's a few things that I've been working on, but I've been starting so many projects that the progress with like each individual one is slow, if that makes sense. I really have to get into the habit of focusing on one thing at a time. But yeah, we're on theme this week. I thought I'd talk about New Year's because it's 2024 now. Yeah, that's cool. It's a leap year. That's sick. Not the only thing that's sick. Yeah, I got sick again. I'm sorry. I always thought New Year's resolutions were just kind of a silly concept. I guess because if you want to make a significant change in your life, I think you should do it as soon as you get it into your head that you want to, and not wait until the beginning of the next year to commit to making that change. I don't know, I feel like if I really stuck to New Year's resolutions, it would just make me inclined to procrastinate on progressing on things I actively want to. And I think it'd be something I'd only think of on January 1st and not remember through the year. Like, I don't know, if you think in August that, I should really get better at playing the maracas since it's been my dream since I was just a young lad. But then you only start trying in January of the next year because you've just been thinking about it for that much time and only found the motivation because New Year's kind of forces you to try and set goals for yourself. Then think about how much time you could have been practicing the maracas. I've tried to get into the habit of just kind of doing things when it's important to me to do them, if that makes sense. Maybe that's my New Year's resolution, I don't know. There are things I always thought it'd be cool to try or to change that I took so long to getting around to actually accomplishing. And I thought, you only live once, opportunities are spontaneous, live your life the way you want to, and be a better you as soon as you can visualize a way of doing so. I do like that New Year's kind of puts you in the position of reflecting on the year though. Thinking about what happened that year and how much your life has changed is just a fun part of New Year's for me. Because, well, a lot of things really can change in that one year. I think for me personally, a ton of stuff changed for the better and for the worse over 2023. And while some stuff might be too personal for me to touch on just yet, maybe one day, not today though, I will say that I've made a lot of new friends and met a lot of new people that I didn't even know at the beginning of the year. I strengthened a lot of relationships with people I barely talked to before. I found a lot of new hobbies and I learned a lot about myself, and I would overall consider it a net positive. In the past, I feel like New Year's always made me kind of sad. It doesn't anymore, but I think what did make me feel that way back then was because I was focusing too heavily on the bad stuff and what I didn't accomplish rather than what I did and what went well. I think it's a good practice to think of all the people in your life and when and how you met them and what small thing you could have changed so that you never would have interacted with that person. And if you feel like the year wasn't successful for you, I think it's better to reflect on yourself from 2 or 3 or 5 years ago and think about what that younger you would think of the things that have happened in that entire time frame if they saw. And even if that's not really reflecting on the past year specifically, I think New Year's should be a time for happy nostalgia and reflection. And if just focusing on the one year doesn't make you feel happy or proud of yourself, then I don't think there's any rule out there that you can't reflect on everything important to you that you've done in the past few years. But I think overall you should try and focus on the bright side wherever you can. Even if the most torrential worst stuff happened, just thinking about the small things, all the small things that were good instead of focusing on the bad stuff. Whatever, even if it's not a net positive for you, even if you think the bad stuff heavily outweighs the good stuff by a lot, it doesn't help you to dwell on that, but it does help you progress and find the motivation to keep going, to take some time to think about the good stuff. So yeah, focus on the bright side, not dwell on the bad side. Motivational speech over, time to talk about what I actually did for New Year's. Short answer, nothing. Long answer, not much, but I tried. I played Stockholm Syndrome by Blink-182 timed up so that as soon as it turned to 12 a.m. and my time zone toned along would yell, "This is the first." I played Stardew with the one and only out of nowhere because I thought it'd be fun. Bless our farm in the comments so we don't forget about it in 2 weeks, please. I didn't do too much, honestly. I'm not a big let's throw a party for New Year's kind of guy. Not that I don't like parties, but I just don't like forcing myself to do big group events just because, ooh, it's a holiday. Because I'm way too introverted for that, and New Year's parties are typically really loud, and I don't like loud parties in general. I prefer things with, like, close friends that I get along with super well. And, like, I guess when I host what could be considered a party, it's usually prompted by some silly reason, like, oh, you got your driver's license finally after procrastinating for months? That's great for you. You deserve a celebration. Let's all go to Wawa and then you can drive us back to my place and we can talk shit about that plot hole in that movie we all watched for an hour. And we can eat some food and then you guys are out of my house. I don't make the rules. My evil side does. I'm sorry. If I have any New Year's resolution, it'd be to just get better grades, but I feel like that's always what I say. Happy New Year's, don't fail any classes. When you're in high school, I feel like that's the underlying pressing thing, or at least to me it is. Most of those of us in my age range are going to school most days of the week, and whether you like school or you hate school, most of the people my age kind of have to go either way, and it's generally the most stress-inducing if you try way too little or way too much. I get a lot of pressure to maintain straight A's, and I get a lot of shit when I don't. And when you're under the age of like 20 and you interact with anyone over the age of like 25, there's always the inevitable question of, so how's school going? Because they don't know what else to talk about with you. Like, they can't talk about experiences you haven't gone through, but they want to be present in your life if at least a little bit, and you don't want to feel too bad about it when they ask, even though you're just gonna say it's okay, no matter what your school picture's painted like at that moment. Like, whether it's great or terrible, you don't want to brag or make them feel bad for asking. But yeah, so I don't know, at least for me, every New Year's when someone asks me, or if I ask myself what my resolution is, it's just, I don't know, bro, get better grades. But that's not me stopping you. Feel free to share your New Year's resolutions. Maybe you guys are more dedicated than me, which is definitely very likely and not very unthinkable. I think what's crazy for me personally to think about is how much stuff is going to happen in the span of this year. I'm gonna be a senior in 2024, and I'm probably gonna go to AnthroCon, and I've got a few upcoming concerts I have tickets to, and yeah, there's just a lot happening, which is cool, but also sort of intimidating. I'm also hyped to get my license because, oh my god, I hate asking for rides, it sucks. But yeah, that's basically my New Year's story. I hope you enjoyed this quick little video. I hope your New Year's went well. Feel free to share what you did or what your resolutions are. I am going to plug my Etsy store here, by the way. I'm selling these candy bracelet thingies. They're fun to package and ship out. I don't know how long I'll keep up with it. If people seem to like how they look, I can keep maintaining the store. Making them is definitely an addictive hobby of mine, so I figured I might as well. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.